G'day everyone, Rach here from Inky Planners. Welcome to a planning part of the program. I thought, as we are in late November, although it may even be December by the time you see this video, I would do a review of my first year in a Hobonichi product. I jumped on the bandwagon, got very swayed by watching lots of videos last year of people using various Hobonichi products, and I think I had 2 orders, in the end. In fact, it may have actually been 3, because this week's I brought from Amazon. I didn't actually buy it directly from Hobonichi. So I've got everything here bar one planner, which is the A6 day free. That's already actually packed in a box because I have to move out of the room I use into another space, so everything's being packed up except for my essentials. That's a whole other video. So I don't have the A6, but I can show you an A5 size day free, and I can tell you how the A6 went. So I thought I would just go through what I got, a bit of a flip through of how I used it, and my overall thoughts. But I'm not going to tell you what I'm using going forward yet. I'm going to save that for the 2024 planner lineup video that'll happen sometime before the end of the year. So in my pile I have a week's, not a mega, just a normal week's. I have 2 A6 5-year diaries. I have a A5 day free, and I have a cousin. I'll leave that out. So let's do the day 5 years first. So I brought 2. I was influenced by actually my sister, who got a day free to record her a project she was doing. She wanted to use it to see how things went over the years, and I like that idea because some of you may know and follow my writing channel, I've taken up writing, so I wanted to record my writing progress. So the one without the colour, the one without the cover is my writing journal, and there are a lot of gaps. I'm just going to do a bit of a flick so you can see where there is writing and where there is no writing. Now, I should say right from the start of this video, in the second week of January this year, I got sick. I have a recurring thyroid issue that had resolved itself but decided to reappear this year for fun. So from late January through until about mid-May, I was completely thrown for 6, and I had no energy and no inclination or motivation to do anything. So there is all the start of this is empty because I just wasn't doing anything, nothing at all. But as far as this book is concerned, I'm not going to stress about those empty gaps at the top. We'll see how it goes. You know, this is only the first year of using it, so we are that one today. In my personal 5-year, I've been working on a bit of a project, so I'll do a bit of a flip. There's more writing in here, but there's also gaps. There's things stuck in. And what I have been doing, what this bookmark is for, is where there has been a gap, I have been writing in a quote or sticking in some stickers. My goal with my personal 5-year is to fill everything up, including this side. But I'm not going to stress about this side this year or maybe even next year. I'll decide in the last 3 years how I'm going to use this page. I have a feeling, I don't know if I can find I feel like I have written over to the other side a couple of times, but I don't see it easily. So, you know, I've stuck things in. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. If I move them, I won't know until I put them on the screen. My little cat was run over in June, and I found a whole load of her whiskers, so I stuck them in here. So I just keep this little card as bookmarked at where I'm up to with adding quotes, and I'll just fill in gaps, and eventually all the pages will be filled up, either with something that actually happened on the day or a quote. So I'm enjoying using both of those. The weeks, I used this for my social media. In fact, I actually started it in November because I think it starts, or does it start in December? You got the last week of November. So I didn't use the months very well, so let's just go back to the beginning. Didn't use this page at all, never really thought about what I could use. If I'd only had one channel, and keeping this as the social media, if I'd only had one channel, I would have recorded my stats on here for my channel. But as some of you know, I've got more than one channel, so I started using this in December. So this is actually a general planner. It wasn't, I use this as a general planner, not just social media. I think January I put social media stuff, then I didn't use it in February, March, April for sick, May and June, and then I got back into it in July a lot more. So I used it again for a couple of months, and then I didn't use it in September or October. In fact, I haven't even changed the sticky. I just made this with some letter stickers from a Happy Planner sticker book and just a page flag, and I just move it. I made some for this, and I made some for the cousin, and I just move it. So I didn't end up using the monthlies at all, really. I feel like I did quite well with my weeklies when I used them. This was the start of December, and I had ink vent to do. I came up with a little check off list for my video, so I would just write down what video I recorded, and then we've got film, edit, photo, Canva to make the thumbnail, upload, and then a done, D for done. And I basically didn't deviate from the plan that I made. So I had my checklist at the top, in the middle was to-dos or notes, and at the bottom was subs. And I just, that's right, and I ruled a line down this side, because I think it comes with 2 dots there and there to help you divide up the page if you want to. And so I put anything in here that would hinder doing any social media stuff. So December was good, getting into January was good, and then this is the week that I got sick. I know exactly what day it was because it was my father's birthday, and we were out for lunch, and I initially thought I got food poisoning, and then it didn't go away, so I knew it was something more than that. So then we didn't do anything. Got through. I then had these 4 or 5 months where I didn't do anything. I tried to roll up a page once I came back to the planning in the middle of the year. I tried rolling up a page I thought with this was maybe I would look at having a week's as my whole planner for next year. So I was looking at how I could divide up the page to fit in everything. Sorry for taking a drink. Fit everything I wanted in on a page. So then we get back into May, when I started thinking about getting back into it all again. And I just was making notes over past weeks, which is why it's all a bit messy. I don't have a problem with my planners being messy. They just need to be functional. And then we kind of got back into the normal what we'd had back in January. So my check-off list, my notes and stuff in the middle, and stats at the bottom. And if I put anything on that side, I did. So I've just been plodding along, doing the same thing to some degree. And it's worked quite well for me. Didn't really use the notes pages at the back. Didn't use any of these pages at the back. I'm not sure what that's for, just ideas. So that was the weeks. The day free. I'll go back over the A6 day free first. So I got that to use as my reading journal. And when I got sick, again, I didn't record anything, either on paper or on film. I stopped reading everything, so I never really used the book journal as it was intended. And so, in fact, what I actually ended up doing, I hope I didn't just knock the camera then, is I pulled out the 2 relevant pages from the day A6, and I stuck them on a Happy Planner page here, just because I'd already made those. They were going to be useful for my reading going forward. So in the middle of the year I pulled them out, and then I didn't bother with using that again. And I think what I will do is, because I used so few of the notes pages at the back, when I eventually pull it up from storage, I will probably tear out the calendars and the 1 or 2 other pages I used and have it as a notebook. Just use it as a notebook at some point for some reason along the way, because it's basically unused. In the middle of the year, I picked up cheaply I don't know if I can figure it out, a 2022 A5 day free to use. I decided to use as an ink journal. I wanted to record my ink swatches on Toma River paper rather than the normal, as well as the normal Leuchtturm, I think it is, that I used. So I picked this up cheaply and just stuck pages together and turned it into a swatch book. So if you're not familiar with a day free, all you get in the planner is months, and then notes pages. So this is, I've ruled up, but you just then get a whole heap of notes pages, which is why I'm saying for the A6 I will tear out the few pages at the front, and just because you do get a decent amount of notes pages. So I've just made this a nice record. It flips, and then I've got ink families at the back. So I've got colour families at the front and ink families at the back. And I will just keep adding to this until it is full, and then we'll worry about what we do next after that. And then lastly, my cousin. I might just take it out of the cover. Quite happy with the cover. Did put stuff in the pockets, but never really used them. But here we go. My planner. I think I went through and made sure I crossed out things that weren't, or covered things that weren't necessary. So didn't really do much with this page. Didn't really refer to it. Started out using, let's just take this off for a minute. Started out to using this as a tracker, but obviously it stopped when I got sick, and then when I came back to the planner, I started to use it as an index. As you will see, some people use it as an index. So that's currently what its role is, and I'll talk about that as we get to it. last December. So again, I came into this last December. So it's been about a year since I've used them. I've used it consistently for a year. January, I had got it set up. And then obviously got sick. Didn't do much. I'd already laid down some of these day stickers. I think those were Coffee Monsters Co. ones. But then obviously just stopped writing stuff in the planner when I got sick. So later in the year when I came back to planning, this is what made me decide to get the A5. Actually, I put an ink sample haul on here and really liked how it looked, so I decided to go down the A5 day free look. So again, months not being used, and then June I got back into it. I was feeling better again, so I started to use the calendar, but I also was adding some ink samples. July I used it quite well, didn't use it all in August, hardly used it in September, not much in November, not much, no, that was October, this is November, and again that's next month. So in January I was going to do a 30 inks in 30 days, but I wasn't happy with how things were going. And this was September, wasn't it? Then I ended up with my mother being in hospital 3 times, so I just didn't carry on with that. I'm not going to show those. I practiced a week, tried to come up with a layout that I liked after seeing loads of photos on Pinterest, on Facebook, on Instagram. Came up with an idea that I thought I might like, or there might be various different ideas, I think, actually on this spread. I was trying to decide. Then I just picked something and went with it for a little while. So that was the first week in January. This is the week that I got sick. So we were going all right, filling things in, adding stickers, and then bush. I spent all this money on Hobonichi products, and in the second week of January I was ill and just couldn't do anything. So I just added notes here and there where it was necessary, all the way through until we get to about, where are we? I think we had another go at rolling up a page somewhere. I thought maybe maybe that's it. I think back in, when I came back to it in the middle of the year, I thought to simplify it a little bit, and I was going to section off appointments at the top, to-dos in the middle, and social media at the bottom, but I didn't follow that properly. I'd gone through at the beginning of the year and put all the Grand Prix in. Then I think I tried another idea of a layout, but I didn't run with that. Tested some Coffee Monsters Co. stamps to see if they fitted in the columns. They do. So we are now approaching, so this is probably around about the time I was starting to feel better. I thought I'd try some stickers, to use some stickers, didn't like that. Didn't do anything. And then beginning of June is when I really cracked back into gear. So I just started with a line, and anything above the line is appointments or things to do, and anything below the line is just a running to-do list. So I just ticked over like that, didn't do it that week at all. And then I decided to use washi tape for the line, which I really liked. So just followed along with that. Some weeks I had more stuff than others. And then I was like, it's going to get too bulky in this particular area. I better do a month on, a month off with washi. So I did that, and I didn't like that again after having had the washi. So back to washi, using it well now. I mean, I'm quite happy with how some of these pages have been filled in. and this is the format I have used all the way now through the rest of the year. That's last week, and then this is this week, and I haven't got any room. So I did the same thing as I did in the weeks. So I made a monthly and a weekly tab and just shifted them every week. So I've got washi laid down for next week, and then I will get the Christmas washi out for December. Into the daily pages, my plan for this cousin was catch-all at the beginning and writing at the back. And so I think I just had a bit of an ideal week if I could write the way I wanted to. Then I just, or any notes and things that came up, I just put on the pages on the days that I wrote. And then I got sick, and then I didn't do anything. Then later in the year I decided to try some painting. That's a nicer one, nicer colours. And then it's not until, so I've got a whole load of empty pages. I'm not sure what that's for. Oh, okay. So it's June that it kicks back into gear. So I've got several months of empty pages. I'm not going to stress. I might, this book won't get packed away because everything's pretty much packed now. If I need to just make some notes about something somewhere or something, I might come back and fill these pages in, but I'm not going to stress about it. So in June I decided how I would use it, which was use the front as I always had, the pages how I showed you, and the back would become like a bullet journal system, and I would record what I wrote on the day in the front like I showed you. So I've just got lists to do with the whole packing up stuff going on. Lots of ideas on my planners for next year. I was going to get some stuff from IKEA, but I'm not now. Moving rooms around. Garden to do. Spring cleaning. Christmas list, which I won't show the Christmas list either, which is there. And then the only other thing that I did, which was on the specific day, is we have a new public holiday in New Zealand. This is the second year. We call it Matariki, and I decided to write some stuff out and things, and so I put it on the specific day. The 14th of July is Matariki, or it was this year. I don't know if it's always the 14th of July. It's too new to me. So I just put some notes in there, and then that's it so far. Can't show that page, so we'll just do that. So there's nothing used there for the rest of the year so far until we get to the back. And I have a Tombos on here. And the only other thing I did was swatch the washi I got this year. Yeah. And then, so we've filled up 2 full pages so far. I guess I'm going to have to go this way because I've still got some more to come. I quite like this, seeing this, all the things. But anyway, so that is my Hobonichi cousin. So my thoughts. I actually really like the cousin, and I like how I have come up with my weeklies. And it doesn't bother me that there are gaps in some places. I can see my appointments at the top. I get to use some washi, because, you know, we all hoard washi rather than use it, you know, and I have some empty days and some busier weeks rather. You know, this one's a bit more full. So I actually like the cousin. I am not using a cousin next year. I've got going in a different direction. I would go back to one when I maybe nut out a few more things. I think it's more about using, oops, don't show the Christmas list. When I figure out how best to use these daily pages, I'm not a journaler, I'm not a recorder of all my thoughts. The A6 5-year is plenty of room for me to record memories for the day. I don't need this much room, which is why I had thought this would be good for writing. But it's actually probably not for the way I do my writing, because I have a running to-do list. So the running to-do list would be fine on those 2 pages, but then I'm going to have to transfer it all the time, so that's impractical. But I do like the cousin. I like the day free, and again, you just have the calendar and then you can bullet journal the back. That could be an option for me. I can still take the same concept of my weekly into a day free. I haven't played with the concept of making it like a week's in here. I don't know how much you would get the 7 days down here. I haven't done any maths to look at that, because I do actually I prefer the week's layout, the you know, your week on that side and then notes on that side. I'm not a huge fan of a vertical. I decided that when I was using Happy Planners. I'm not a fan of vertical planning. I think the way I've figured this out is fine, because you've only got a small bit up here where it's date appropriate, and then this can be anything you want. None of this is day appropriate. If it is, it would be up above the washi tape. So, you know, I could look at some point, and I may even think about it, is how many lines you would get for 7 days on this side, and then have your notes on that side in a day free. So yes, I like the weeks as well, because I like this layout. But I actually, for social media, this was fine. But the exploring this with a view to having it as my everything, it wasn't going to be big enough for that. But for the job that is done for me for my social media, it's been great. And it even just lies flat. It's just, I love it. And I'm quite happy with my 5 years. I think they're a cool idea. And, you know, I look forward to seeing... Oh, there we go. So I did actually go over on one side. It was in my writing one, though, not my normal one. I look forward to seeing the years fill up, basically. So, would I buy Hobonichi products again? Absolutely. The other thing I will add is I love the pen that comes with some of the diaries. And I've even brought these pens. You can actually get a dupe, or exactly the same but just different colours, on Amazon. I have brought one, but I got 2 of these last year, and I did pick up something in a buy sell group which got me another one this year. So, and this is, and I've only used one. This is still going strong. I haven't dared open it. I haven't started the second one I got from last year yet. So they last a decent amount of time. I really like the pens as well. So where possible, I would always buy from Hobonichi to get the pen as well. So I'm sure, well, obviously these I have got for the next 4 years. So they're staying. The day free will be staying for as long as it is, until it is full up. As far as planning goes, certainly not next year in Hobonichi Products. but I'm not adverse to looking at it again in the future in the A5 size, probably, whether that's a cousin again or I doctor a day free, I don't know. So there we go. Love them. We'll be using some next